My name is Nick, and I produce music under the name Varien. I grew up in a nice, cozy home in Tampa, Florida. I've always had an emotional connection with music, and from a very early age, I think my family recognized that. I didn't get my first instrument until I was 11, a cheap guitar with an amplifier built into it. I eventually got frustrated that I couldn't play the bass notes at the same time as the lead notes, or harmonize with myself. This led me to taking up piano, where I had more control over the full sound I wanted. But again, I got frustrated that I still wasn't saying what I wanted to say with an instrument. I had played in a lot of bands, from death metal and grindcore bands, to jazz and progressive rock outfits. But if the bass player couldn't make it, or someone quit randomly, nothing could happen. All of this frustration led me to naturally pick up composition and production. First and foremost, more than a composer, more than a producer, or a guitarist, or a pianist, I consider myself a storyteller. I'm not really interested in music made for the sake of fashion or hipness, nor am I interested in the sort of throwaway tune mentality that pervades most of the electronic music industry today. I am interested in immersion. Immersion in the sense that I can listen to a piece of music and feel that the original composer was trying to say something, or take me somewhere. I can trace this back to how much video games and their soundtracks shaped me as a person and shaped how I think about music. In video games, the music is a part of a whole. Art, storyline, character development, sound effects, etc. They all come together in a single package and aid each other in bringing you into a new universe. I believe this is what started me on the mission to bring people to other worlds, but just through music alone. When I sit down and write music, I usually have a few mental images in my head already, and a general idea of what I want the song to be about. For instance, when I wrote the song Lilith, I imagined a little demon girl who carries around a stuffed bear doll and takes people's souls. To portray all that, I called up a glockenspiel, which has a very sort of infantile sound to begin with, some acoustic guitars, some synths, a female vocal sample, and some very heavy dubstep growls, which represent her soul-eating process. I do this sort of thinking with all of my music, and it keeps things interesting not only for the listeners, but for me as well. I'm constantly thinking of new sounds, new directions, and ways to combine genres, which is essentially limitless. I genuinely feel that genre is simply a medium for delivering melodies and ideas, things that are central to the majority of music. And I think I recognized that from an early age after being exposed to so many types of music by my father, my brother, video games, television, radio, etc. Over the years, I have loved and still love everything from Bollywood music to black metal, from jazz fusion to rap, from drum and bass and jungle to pop, from classical to rock and indie, and so much more. I'm restructuring my vision lately, more in alignment with how I started off producing and composing, in terms of albums rather than singles. Instead of telling a story with a single tune, I want to tell a story in a series of songs. I want to make albums that people will still listen to in 10 years, not throwaway club tunes that people deem old in 2 weeks before they move on to the next banger or the next hit. The current ADHD-like nature of EDM is a bit concerning personally, but I can't argue what millions of fans feel about it, which is why I'm not trying to change EDM, but rather change myself and my music. I don't know where I'll be in 10 years, 5 years, or even 1 year. Things move so quickly and seemingly at random that the only thing I can do is to focus on the present and do my best here. I do have plans for the future, and things that I'd like to do, but I can't get too attached to them, or else I'll forget that this step in my career is just as important as the ones that I take in the future and the ones that I took in the past. It's all a path, and I know no matter where I end up, I will stay true to myself and my vision.